Hey everybody, Eyeball here, and I want to show you a sneak peek of a DLC that's coming up in less than 3 weeks. It is the Shipyards DLC, at least that's what I'm calling it internally. Things may change at the last minute, but it's all about spaceships. So let's take a look at this. Now, this might look a little different to you if you're familiar with the game, or it might not. But there's a little more space here, some space for spaceships, some question marks, reserved for future use. So something may be coming there. Those are locked. What's this? A custom designed ship. Look at that. All right, so the Shipyard DLC gives you the ability to design your own starting ships. And we're going to take a look at that in just a second. Now, what it does here is it randomly creates one using the point system that you will use. And it sticks it on there. So it's just a teaser. It's just like, whoa, look at that, 700 hull, but I don't know, terrible evasion. And look at these starting systems. I don't know, recyclotron. What's that? Oh, that's a new device. There are 6 new devices that I haven't even talked about yet. There may be more by the time this releases, but let's take a look. Look at this button here. Let's push the button. Shipyard, shipyard, shipyard. Here we go. All right. Point-based system to design your ship. All the stats plus 2 new ones. We got pictures. We got buttons. Let's start by clearing. Clear all the points. And I'm starting with 48 points. Now, if you get this DLC, will be starting with 45 points, but there's a way that you can permanently earn more. And I have done that a few times because I had to test it and make sure it worked. All right, so point-based system. Everything right now is at its maximum, and you can do whatever you want. You can give yourself lots of crew, lots of hull. You can create a ship that starts with 3 weapons. That's always fun. You know, you can give yourself the best reactor ever. Or you can give yourself absolute garbage, I suppose. So funds here. You can spend points if you think that you don't need them on something else. You can spend points to give yourself bonus money. This does not come out of Pay It Forward. It just sort of comes out of the shipyard itself. You're like, I'm not spending this money. Let's just keep it. You can get up to up to 1 million extra credits by spending 15 points. Now, when you start with your own ship, your custom designed ship, if you are a lucky captain with a custom designed ship, you start with a base reputation with all factions across the board of 50. That doesn't include factions like the criminal syndicate or mercenaries, but the normal. There's about 12 normal factions in the game, so you can spend some points here to make it 60 instead of 50. 65. You can go all the way up to 70, and 70 is like the magic number that lets you do quests for every race. So they'll just all be friendly with you and basically won't attack you except in specific circumstances or if you're a jerk to them. So that's exclusive to this. Now, if you start with, let me go back. If you start with this ship, you'll get better rep with the pirates. You start with this ship, you'll get better rep with the Cygorn. Things like that. They already exist. This is just your opportunity to do what you want with it. All right, let's give some supplies, because honestly that's important. Start with medium-ish stats. Go up to 200 speed because that's normal. I don't want to take any extra damage. We'll go with 2 weapons, 3 devices. Now here, yeah, I definitely want a warp range of 2. Sensors 4, sensors 5. You can go up to sensors 6. And that's, you know what? That's pretty cool. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Can we get another point there? Another point there? All right, now, let's go in here. tons of other stuff. Ship image, you can start with a fair selection, including a lot of new ones. I love these new ships. Thank you, David. Some of these, man, they're so cool. They have so much personality. Some really weird stuff too. But before I pick a ship image, I'm going to take a look at everything else and try to make it look appropriate for what I want it to be. So you can pick any weapon or any combination of two weapons if your reactor can handle it. You can pick shield or a different type of cloaking device, and you can pick your built-in devices from anything that's available, including the stuff that you can't normally find. You can start a ship with a warp breach, and where's the consumption engine? That's exceptionally rare, that thing. So you can make up whatever you want to make up. If you have a favorite device that you're like, oh, I need to get to sector 50 so this thing will spawn, well, you can just start with it. You can pick your gun and your melee weapon, and you can also pick your away team device. And there are now a few new away team devices, like the Envirodaptor, the survey module, the hoverboard, which may be exciting. Across all planetary surface terrain, even liquid metal, useless in caves or on high gravity planets. Also useless in shipwrecks, but I mean, you don't have mountains and water there anyway. So, cool stuff. And you know, if you're worried about the Pathfinder class just getting replaced with a single piece of equipment, well, it doesn't work in caves. There are plenty of situations where you're still going to really appreciate that Pathfinder. Anyway, I must have some sort of point. So let's pick some weapons. Shield depleter and particle beam. Those go together. Now I'm going with beams, so I'm going to take the cyclic capacitor, which makes all your beam weapons do 33% more damage. Now, second built-in device. Okay, see, I've already selected the plasma lance, which means you can bump enemies to attack them. So if this is going to be a combat-focused ship, it's going to be pretty darn good at what it does. And in fact, it turns out I really like that. I like that picture for this type of ship. So I'm going to take a beamer, because I'm just all laser beams. This is a laser, kinda. Is there a laser device? I know there isn't. Oh, thorns. That's new. Spike field. Returns 50% of incoming melee damage. We'll go with that. Cool. So I've spent all my points, and I have my ship and equipment and everything. Oh, and you can save them, and you can load them, and you can look at some of the other ships I've created, although we're not going to do that. So we're going to cancel out. What do we have? We got my good ship right here. I'm going to confirm this. I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the process. I'm just going to confirm. I'm not going to look. And we're going to play. And I'm going to show you. That they show up. Look at that, man. I just started a game with a ship I made. So you can go into stats. And you can see your base hull and speed and everything. It's crew and cargo. Everything that I selected is there. My away team. Here's my two devices. Man, I love this thing, and I think that you're probably going to love this thing too. There's so much freedom and so much like creativity. I came here for a reason. So I talked about ways to increase your the number of points you have to spend. Well, right down here at the bottom of stats on the right side, you got Shipyards DLC stuff. We got shipyard tokens for next level, and shipyard design points. So you start at 45 points, and the thing that you do is you tow 5-deck shipwrecks, and instead of taking the money, they give you a shipyard token. And the first time, it just costs 1 token, and you level up and you get 1 extra design point. Next time, you got to tow 2 5-deck shipwrecks, and that gives you a point. So I've towed a fair number of 5-deck shipwrecks, and well, actually, I've cheated, and I found an exploit before you could even find it, and I fixed it already. But you can just keep doing that, and it carries over between all games. So like, it's something you can always do. If you find a 5-deck shipwreck, or you go hunting for them specifically, you can do that in all your games, and you can start to design some really crazy ships with 70 points. That's pretty huge. All right, so that is the Shipyards DLC. There is one more part to this that I'm definitely, going to work on, but I haven't started yet, so I don't want to talk about it. The reason you're only hearing about this now is because I really don't like to talk about things before I'm sure I can do them. And the only way for me to be sure that I can do them is to literally like finish them. So this is ready and it works, and so I'm telling you about it. All right. As you can probably tell, I'm excited. I hope you are too. Thanks a lot for watching.